Hey everyone, so I want to quickly talk about just our purpose in this life. Each one of us come to this planet as a spiritual being. We choose our human experience and the lesson that we need to learn. And when we're born, we forget what that is, and that is the whole purpose of our time on this planet is to learn a specific lesson, so that as our spiritual selves, when we are not in this human experience, we can continue on our journeys of learning and becoming higher and higher spiritual beings. So I just most recently learned what mine is, and it is the most liberating and freeing feeling I have ever felt my whole life. It is so amazing to just know that I finally learned what I came here on this life to learn, and I can propel my human life in a way that I never could before. So you may have learned what yours is already, you may not have, and either way that's totally fine. You are meant to do it in your own time. But I really want to talk about that today because it's just been so exciting for me. So let's get into it. So just recently, at the time of recording this, this happened last week for me. I had a breakthrough with another coach. I struggle with success. To me, success is a terrifying thing, and it's been terrifying for me because it means putting myself out there. It means not being small and shying away in a corner, which my entire life, many different people have ingrained in me to be small and to not speak my truth and not be loud and not be seen, that it was better to not be heard. And in case my mom sees this, I know she did not do this, and for anyone that's listening, she did not do this intentionally. This was not something that she did to try and hurt me. She had her own things that she had to work through back then, and it was just what she knew at the time. Now, it started with my mom, and it would be things like we would be out with one of her friends for lunch, and I'd be playing quietly, and they would praise me on how quiet I was being, how good I was being, how I wasn't disturbing anyone. Or, my mom would be having a bad day because she had her traumas, and, she had a lot to work through, and I totally understand that. And, I would be being authentically me, and it would be too much for her, and she would not tear me down, but basically put me back in that quiet place, not right now, please be quiet, whatever it was. And then as I grew up, it started happening from my peers, a lot of kids at school. I was never physically bullied, which I'm very thankful for, but I was very mentally and emotionally bullied by a lot of kids at school. And that was really hard to overcome. And then it started happening from my teachers, where my teachers were putting me down. And I had teachers tell me that I could not amount to anything, that I would never go anywhere in life, that I was just gonna, basically be nothing. And they knew nothing about me. I was a struggling teenager with a lot of hurts from different things that were reflecting outwards, and they just took that as face value and just decided that I was basically a failure in life, and expressed that to me very loudly. And so I never felt like I was worthy or that I was good enough to put myself out there. And then it started happening with boyfriends and friends even. I had people who I thought were my friends that would also tear me down in ways to make me feel small and insignificant. So, and it's funny because I used to not be able to talk about this without tearing up, even just a little bit, because it brought up a lot of emotions for me. And this is one thing that I really talk about and I like to teach my clients, is that we don't, and it's hard, sometimes you need someone else to remind you of that, even though you teach it, because you're just so busy focusing on someone else. But you're not supposed to push those things down. By pushing them down, we hold on to them. When we fully allow them to release from us, that is how we gain freedom from it. But it's hard, it's not easy. It's hard to feel into those emotions again. It's hard to allow those feelings to come up and just fully be in it, because it's hard. It's so much easier just to push it down and not think about it. But the problem when we do that is they continue to come up and hit us here, hit us there, hit us here, hit us there, and just continuing to come up for us. And we actually end up reliving the experience more than if we had just allowed it to release. So anyway, so I'm on this coaching call with this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman, and she started asking these probing questions, not probing, but just asking these questions, like probing deeper into how I was feeling. And it started out, I didn't understand, I knew that I wanted to understand why I had this fear of success, because I have done all the work, but sometimes you need someone else to get it out of you. And at first, she had me scan my body and just feel any areas of resistance. When I thought about my dream life of having all the success that I dream about having, where was the resistance? And it's been in my heart. And it's funny because for many, many, many years, every time I've concentrated on my heart, I've always felt like a lump there, but I never understood what it was. And so I felt this lump, and I knew it was pain and hurt, but I didn't know what was causing it. And so she walked me through a few things and really got like me to just allow everything to release, allow my ego to step to the side so that I could bring this up, because our egos want to keep us safe, and by healing it's not safe because we have to feel those things all over again. So anyways, it ended up coming to me about all these memories about just being made to feel small, that I was better to be seen and not heard, and I was better to never pursue my dreams and never speak my truth because someone would tear me down. And I cried a lot. There was a lot of hurt. At times I felt like my heart was gonna break into or explode out of my chest. Like it wasn't fun to go through. But when I got on the other side, it just felt freeing. And it has been almost a full week now. Tomorrow will be a week, and I can't even bring that heaviness in my chest back. I can't bring the fear that I felt around success or anything that has come with it that I felt before. I can't bring back any of those feelings because I finally fully released. And when I did release and I got off the phone with her, or off the call, I realized that I have endured this from almost every person in my life, my entire life. And it made me realize that this was my major thing that I came to this life to learn. And by being open to healing and being open to releasing the pain and the hurt, I was being open to the lesson. And so with that all being said, I mean, there's so much more I can go into. Like, it's almost impossible to describe how I feel now versus even a week ago. Like, I don't even feel like the same person I was. I feel like someone totally new, totally different. And so with that all being said, I do want to ask each and every one of you who do watch this video to take a moment and just think back through your life. And what is one or two things that have consistently happened with almost every person in your life? What is something that you may have endured your entire life that seemed horrible, that you have a lot of pain and resentment for? And maybe, just maybe, that is your life lesson. Maybe that is the thing that you need to overcome so that when you leave this earth, you can go on and be a bigger, better spiritual being and move up in that journey outside of yourself. So take that time and just sit with it. If you're having a hard time, just nicely ask your ego to step to the side. It's okay, I'm safe. Please step to the side. I want to feel this. I want to understand where this pain is coming from. This could be in your heart center. It could be literally anywhere in your body. It doesn't have to be in a chakra center. It could literally be in your arm. It doesn't matter. But what have you been enduring your entire life that it might be time for you to release and let go? And if nothing comes up for you, if you can't tap into that, that's totally fine. It may not be the time yet, or maybe you still have something else you need to learn or release before you can get to that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, if you have anything that you want to share, please drop them in the comments below. I love hearing about other people's stories. And yeah, like, if you've learned your major life lesson, tell me about it. I want to know, because I find this so fascinating, and especially now that I've finally learned mine after almost 33 years of life, it's like, wow, like it's just wow. That's all I can say. So if you have experienced your life lesson, please tell me about it if you're comfortable. If not, it's totally understandable, and have a wonderful rest of your day.